Hello, readers of Every Word, and welcome to Every Word 365, where we read through every word of the Bible. I'm your host, Christina Madsen, and today we're reading through Mark 14 through 16. Okay, time for a checkup. I do this from time to time in this study. Who is still with us? Either comment on our Facebook page or send me an email. You are doing great. If you've missed some readings, I want to share the paperclip theory with you. This came from my Bible study leader, Sarah Bowden, the first time we read through the Bible in 2010. If you miss one reading, you might be able to find time to catch up, about 15 minutes, right? But if you miss 2, 3, or 4, it's rare to actually get a full hour to make up these readings. So a lot of people get overwhelmed and then just give up. Instead, just put a paper clip around the section you missed and pick it up as you can, maybe one reading a day or just one page or one chapter a day. It's not as if this book is written in order anyway, and you can't ruin the ending. We already know the ending, am I right? So just put a paper clip around the section you missed and join us where we are each day. This is whether you've been with us since the beginning and all through the Old Testament, or if you just joined us in the New Testament. Moving on, pop quiz. What are the professions of all 4 gospel authors, and what was the purpose of each gospel? The answers are in yesterday's reflection and worship page. So this is really more of a test to see if you read the day off page. They are so good and with so much information. So don't skip out on those days. And of course, I'm including more in a link from Got Questions on the different gospel writers. And I love today's insight. What do you think? Is that story referring to Mark, the same Mark in this gospel? This is why it's super important to have the same Bible. It's the Daily Walk Bible, the NLT translation, and I include a link to buy it from the creators at Walkthrough Ministries in the description of this podcast. So we really haven't talked much about Judas yet, so I'm including some very interesting links if you're interested in reading more. There's one about Judas and his betrayal. Now remember, Jesus knew that all this was going to happen before it actually happened. And I think it's a great example of really loving our enemies. And boy, that's hard to do. And then of course, just another link on Judas himself, and also some questions about whether or not Judas is saved. And I think there's a very interesting article at gotquestions.org on that as well. So that's why I include all of these links if you want to read more about these topics. And I love reading about Jesus's prayer and how he says, "Let this cup pass from me." He also says, "If it is possible." This is a big part of why I now say, "If it is your will," every time I pray, because I know he knows way more about what is best for me than I do. And I always say, even Jesus didn't get what he asked for in that moment because his Heavenly Father knew better and knew the big picture and knew the plan. But boy, that's hard for us to understand sometimes. I'm also including more about the Gospel of Mark, and this is under the practical application part of this link. Mark presents Jesus as the suffering servant of God and as the one who came to serve and sacrifice for us, in part to inspire us to do the same. We are to minister as he did, with the same greatness of humility and devotion to the service of others. Jesus exhorted us to remember that to be great in God's kingdom, we must be the servant of all. Self-sacrifice should transcend our need for recognition or reward, just as Jesus was willing to be abased as he laid down his life for the sheep. And I know I've shared that before, but it is so important. I wanted to share it again. And every time we finish a book, I love to share the Bible Projects Overview video, because they are so creative, and I think they do a great job of summarizing these books and helping us understand them, because some are hard to understand. Tomorrow, we start Luke. That means we say goodbye to Mark and move on to Luke. We'll be reading chapters 1 through 2. Happy reading!